There is a quiet habit that many people have, but they do not always notice it. It does not make loud noise. It does not come like a storm. Instead, it comes in small moments, almost like a whisper in the mind. This habit is comparison. You look at someone else's life, their success, their appearance, or even their happiness, and you begin to measure yourself against them. At first, it feels normal. It even feels harmless. But over time, this quiet habit can slowly destroy something very important inside you, your self-worth. When you wake up in the morning and check your phone, you may see pictures of people traveling, working hard, achieving goals, or simply smiling. It looks like everyone is moving forward, while you feel like you are standing still. You may tell yourself, "I am not doing enough," or "I am not good enough." These thoughts do not shout. They speak softly, but they stay for a long time. And the more you listen to them, the more you begin to believe them. The problem with comparison is that it is often unfair. You compare your whole life to someone else's best moments. You see their highlights, but you do not see their struggles. You see their success, but you do not see their failures. This creates a picture that is not real. Still, your mind accepts it as truth. You begin to feel smaller, weaker, and less valuable. This is how comparison quietly damages your self-worth. Self-worth is the feeling that you are enough, just as you are. It is the belief that your value does not depend on how you look, what you have, or how successful you are. But comparison changes this belief. It tells you that your value depends on being better than others. If someone is more successful than you feel less valuable. If someone looks better than you feel less confident. Slowly, your self-worth becomes something that can change at any moment. This can be very tiring. You are always watching, always measuring, always thinking about where you stand. You may not even enjoy your own progress because you are too busy looking at someone else. Even when you achieve something, you might say, "It is not enough," because someone else has done more. In this way, comparison steals your joy and replaces it with pressure. Sometimes, comparison begins in childhood. You may hear people say, "Look at them, they're better than you," or "Why can't you be like that person?" These words can stay in your mind for many years. Even when no one is comparing you anymore, you continue to compare yourself. It becomes a habit. It feels normal, even though it hurts you. In today's world, comparison has become even stronger because of social media. You can see many lives at the same time. You can see people from different places, different careers, and different lifestyles. This can make your world feel very big, but it can also make you feel very small. You may forget that everyone is on their own path. You may forget that your journey is different, and that is okay. Another reason why comparison is dangerous is because it changes how you see yourself. You begin to focus only on what you do not have. You forget your strengths. You forget your progress. You forget the hard work you have already done. Your mind becomes like a filter that only shows your weaknesses. Over time, this can make you lose confidence. You may stop trying new things because you believe you will never be as good as others. This is how comparison limits your growth. Instead of learning and improving, you become afraid. You stay in a safe place because you do not want to feel worse. But growth often comes from trying, failing, and learning. If you are always comparing yourself, you may never give yourself the chance to grow. It is also important to understand that comparison does not only happen with big things like career or success. It can happen in small daily moments. You may compare your body, your clothes, your way of speaking, or even your personality. You may think, I should be more like them. But when you try to become someone else, you move away from who you really are. And this can make you feel lost. The truth is, every person has a different story. Your life is not meant to look like someone else's life. You have your own experiences, your own challenges, and your own strengths. When you compare, you ignore this truth. You try to follow a path that was not made for you. And when it does not work, you blame yourself. But what if you stop comparing? What if you started looking at your own journey instead? At first, it may feel strange. You may not know what to focus on. But slowly, you can begin to notice your own progress. You can see how far you have come. You can remember the difficulties you have faced and the ways you have grown. When you stop comparing, you give yourself space to breathe. You no longer feel the need to prove something all the time. You can enjoy small moments. You can feel proud of your efforts, even if they are not perfect. This does not mean you stop improving. It means you improve in a healthier way. Instead of comparing yourself to others, you can compare yourself to your past self. You can ask, am I better than I was before? This kind of comparison is helpful because it focuses on growth, not competition. It reminds you that progress takes time. It helps you see that small steps are still important. Another way to protect your self-worth is to be careful about what you see every day. If something makes you feel worse about yourself again and again, it may be time to take a break from it. You do not have to watch everything. You do not have to follow everyone. You can choose what is good for your mind. It is also important to practice kindness toward yourself. When you notice that you are comparing, do not judge yourself. This habit is very common. Instead, gently bring your attention back to your own life. You can say, my path is different, and that is okay. This simple thought can slowly change how you feel. Building self-worth takes time. It is not something that changes in one day. But every time you choose to focus on yourself instead of others, you take a small step forward. Every time you accept yourself as you are, you become stronger. Over time, these small steps create a big change. You may still compare sometimes. That is normal. The goal is not to stop it completely, but to not let it control you. When you notice it, you can pause and ask, is this helping me or hurting me? If it is hurting you, you can choose a different thought. You can remind yourself of your own value. Your worth is not a competition. It is not something you win or lose. It is something that already exists inside you. You do not need to be better than others to have value. You just need to be yourself. This may sound simple, but it is not always easy. It takes practice, patience, and understanding. In the end, comparison is quiet, but its effects are strong. It can slowly take away your confidence, your joy, and your sense of self. But you have the power to change this. You can choose to see your own path, your own growth, and your own value. And when you do that, you begin to rebuild your self-worth, not based on others, but based on who you truly are.